Hello there, everybody. We'll have a two mover today. This one is kind of tricky, I think. White to move here and checkmate the black king in two moves. These pawns are going down in the diagram, so this pawn is covering the check here on b2 at the moment. So, with that information, can you solve this on your own? Pause the video and give it a try. And welcome back. Well, okay, we're gonna look at all the moves here. First, this bishop. If it moves anywhere, it just allows the king to come up to c4, and from there is no checkmate at all, as we see. So there's no point in moving this bishop anywhere. What about checking here with the white bishop? So that stops the king, of course, from coming to c4, but instead he has to block it with playing his pawn to c4. But as we say, this pawn here is blocking the b2 square for a checkmate, and there's really nothing else we can do to checkmate here either. So it's not the right starting move. This was my first thought, because I see if we play bishop to f5, the king can come up here, but then we have a checkmate down here. Really, really beautiful. And also, after bishop f5, if black plays the pawn to c4, well, then we have a checkmate here. But it's not the right move, because black can now just move his a pawn and he'll have an escape route on a3 like this. Or we'll allow the queen to check here, or black allows us to come here. Well, he still has the c4 square to run to. So bishop to f5 is not the right move either. Okay, what about moving the king then? Then we block all these moves here, all these squares, and if the pawn moves, well, then we have a checkmate down here. But again, he can move the c pawn to c4, and blocking the b2 square, this bishop doesn't do any good at all, and we have no checkmate. So basically, we have to move the queen. The question is, of course, where? Well, we can look at all the different moves, like queen d2 or something like that, but c4 will block. This bishop again is useless, and there's no checkmate. So let's do the other way around. We want to have a answer to king c4. Well, then the queen can checkmate. Where? Well, nowhere really, but the bishop can come and checkmate if we have control over the d3 square. So that was perhaps not the best explanation, but anyway, we want to have something. If he places his pawn on a2, we want to get the queen to c3 or d3, checkmate. And if the pawn moves to c4, we want to have our queen to b1, which is a checkmate. So these two squares are good for checkmates, and we also want to cover this diagonal in order to play bishop e6 checkmate if the king goes to c4. So when we're looking at this, well, where's the obvious move then? What's the square we're going to use? We're going to play the queen to h7. This is the right key move. We can come to d3, we can come to b1, and we can play the bishop here. So let's look at this. If the king comes to c4, here's the checkmate with the bishop. If the pawn moves to c4, well, then we have the queen down to b1 checkmate. If this pawn moves to a2, then we have the checkmate here on queen, queen d3. Note that this bishop is, of course, covering everything here. So this is a checkmate. So that's how we solve this. And, of course, the king can also escape to a2, but he just puts himself in the corner, which means we have a checkmate here on c2 anyway. Again, this is blocked by the bishop. So the correct starting move here is queen to h7. As I said, I think it was a bit tricky. I didn't look at this first. I was trying to move my bishop somewhere, and finally I got this covered. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.